Here we go, innit?
Yeah,
Here we go. Right.
okay.
Hello.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Hello. This is our podcast. My name is Jago. This is
Henry.
And yeah, this is our podcast. Pretty much. We're doing it out of my garden in my house in Bristol.
It's
currently.
a lovely garden.
It's a lovely little garden. Lots of like green spaces in a small area, I suppose. But yeah, like I'm Jago. This is Henry, and like we just want to talk to you guys about what our podcast is, what to expect, and get to know a little bit about us, I suppose, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the sort of concept for this was bringing in creative artists, whether that be musicians or painters, whatever it is, and giving them a platform to basically talk about their art or discuss interesting things. And I felt like personally that there's a sort of lack of it in Bristol, and I think, you know, hopefully with this we can sort of bridge the gap.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got some really exciting stuff lined up. We've got some really interesting people that we've already sort of contacted. So yeah, look out for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the purpose of this pilot is just to get to know us a little bit better.
Yeah. Really.
And see, you know, who we are.
Exactly. Yeah. And like me and Henry had this discussion. We were at like the Nectar House, was it?
Yep.
Yeah. And we were just having a coffee, and we just kind of said as like a joke about like, well, not really as a joke, but like just talking about like, you know, just getting all of our mates who are all creatives like us, and like just trying to find a way to, you know, give them a bit more time and respect and reputation, and like hopefully help them as much as they'll help us. And then that's kind of where this idea stemmed from, really.
The Robin Hood of creatives.
The Robin Hood of creators, honestly. We are taking from the very rich, you know, Timothy Chalamet, you're an op. But, you know, like, yeah, like I think it's the kind of thing, particularly us, we came from Devon, like from a state school area, and like for creatives it's quite hard to find a way to weasel your way into the crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
And also often develops imposter syndrome. So I think what we're doing here is something that's going to help our friends and anyone we meet along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
And hopefully help you guys if you enjoy it and you want to find some new shit, really. Yeah, we've got a real mix of stuff coming. Hopefully like some acting, some theatre, some films, some music, and then artists in whatever field you want. We are literally leaving it as open as we can.
I'm going to be honest,
going on.
this is the first thing we're doing in the journey
that
we're trying to go on. So, you know, it's quite interesting to be at the point that we're at now and theorising about what we're going to do. But fingers crossed, and, you know, we've already done some interviews and they went so well.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for these episodes coming out. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much this.
Yeah.
So stay tuned and see what we come out with.
Well, yeah, I think one more thing to talk about would be good is just like our general setup, our general vibe.
Yes.
So we're going to like obviously be supporting creatives quite a lot, but like obviously coming on a podcast helps, but it's not going to be everything. So we want to work in tandem with the creators we're working with to help publicise their events if they're doing them. We're going to produce some short films with the artists or individual in questions help. So it's their vision more so than it is ours, and we just want to help and listen and find out more amazing stuff in Bristol, because we've already found quite a lot.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we can probably talk about our backgrounds a bit, and I think help contextualise what we're on about and why we want to do what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I
start.
Go on then.
Go on. So Henry, what kind of creative experiences do you have in the past?
Okay, I mean, I can start from my childhood.
Yeah, mate. From the beginning.
I'm very fortunate. I come from a lovely family, very supportive parents, and both have been artists. I still consider them artists. And yeah, you know, we both grew up in Devon, in the middle of the sticks. It's, you know, very gentrified, but like extremely wide and open and
expansive.
Yes, it's almost desert-like.
Yeah.
But I love it there, and it's great, and it's always nice to revisit. But no, I grew up in a lovely background, and I'm very fortunate for it. And, you know, I basically started my creative journey doing photography. It was what I really enjoyed. I think I was like 12, and I convinced my parents to get me a camera. It was this little Nikon like shit thing, but it really opened up my eyes for like finding an escape in creativity, and using a platform to, and you know, obviously I was just messing about. There's nothing prolific about the work I was doing then. I was just doing it because I wanted to do
Yeah.
it. But I found that, you know, Devon was very much, you know, factories, weddings, or farming. That was sort of the work that you got into.
It was.
And we did, you know, 2 of those things, and it was pretty shit.
It
but
was, not ideal.
I think
But it's the way it is.
Yeah, I think my point is that I think you have to find an escape. I mean, again, it sounds like I had a horrible time.
Yeah, it sounds like we grew up in the Somme.
It's a wonderful place, and I'm very grateful for my upbringing. But it sort of led me down this path of not only surrounding myself with people that aligned with those beliefs, but also like wanting to just have a bit of fun and escape a bit of a barren area.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, we first met in primary school.
Yeah, that was years and
years ago. But I think you know, you went to a different primary school, and then come secondary school we linked back up.
Yeah, we linked back up.
I think, to be honest, we didn't like each other.
We weren't like close friends or anything, definitely not. Like, I remember coming back and I was like, oh my god, I hadn't been outcast at all, but I was like, I've been outcast from Osprey Primary, and now's my great revenge. I feel like Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. These are the problems we deal with.
These are the problems we dealt with. Well, you know. Yeah, exactly. I've got a bionic arm and everything. It's a bloody nightmare. But yeah, so yeah, like we came back together at secondary school, and like we weren't really in the same friendship group really. No. Like we knew each other. This guy was very good on sports day, so I was always like, fucking hell, he's pretty quick.
That's some legs on me.
Yeah, he's got some legs on you. Move. Yeah. He can move, it's very true. And then I suppose it was like towards year 11 where we started like having like more mutual friends. Like we were always friendly the whole time. And then sixth form, everyone just kind of thinned out, and then just left the fucking legends left, really. So, yeah, we cracked on then.
Yeah.
And did much more creative stuff together.
Yeah, we did some music together, we did performances together. Yeah. We were really lucky, the school we went to, shout out King School.
Shout out King School, big time.
It was very encompassing of creative people. Yeah. And I think there was a lot of people that would have been sort of sidelined if there wasn't, I mean, you know, Miss Jarrett, the absolute legend head teacher, she was there for a very long time. She was really up for it. We did all sorts of performances and drama, and it was really, really great. And I think it gave, you know, all of us a platform to like have a bit of fun and explore things other than just the tests and the standardized sort of things you get in school. But yeah, I mean, it basically, we joined sort of together then, and you know, we've had an amazing friendship since. Exactly. But you know, I think we both share like a common interest in the creative scene, and you know,
art, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, going to Bristol was, because in Devon you either go to Falmouth or Plymouth or Bristol. Yeah. You know, rarely people go to London. I mean, you know, shout out Will Langley.
Shout out Will Langley.
But you know, it seems it's like it's the closest thing to a city, and we have Exeter, but
Exeter is a city in the same way that a pond is a lake. I mean, like, by definition it is a body of water, but it's not quite hitting the same stuff. I get you entirely.
And I think we didn't intend on it. I was going through quite a hard point in my life, and I lost my grandfather, and we were both working in a factory.
Dog shit factory, by the way.
Awful.
Like, your skin was cracking and bloody and oily at the same time.
It was making pasties and pies. Yeah. It was brutal. But it was character building.
It was character building indeed.
But the thing that got me through was always seeing Jago's little face come down at 5 a.m, like -5. Yeah. You know, just see each other and be like, yeah, well, we're both in it together.
Yeah, we're in it together, exactly. And that was the solace. Yeah. But yeah. So we're at a little detour there, which is perfectly fine. Yeah. So outside of, obviously, like, did your photography and stuff, and then with uni, like, the passing of your grandfather helped you have this kind of epiphany, really, that you didn't want to be stuck in Devon doing nothing. And then, like, how has your creative opportunities and experiences like grown since being at university?
Yeah, I mean,
all throughout this entire period.
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, I had my parents sort of split down the middle. My dad being like, well, you don't have to go to uni. Both my parents went to uni, but he was like, you don't have to. You can quite easily go freelance and just work through there, and because you like photography, why not chase that? You know, why get in debt and go through this process? And my mum was like, well, if you want to learn more about your creativity, I found in secondary school, despite being quite a creative secondary school, it was still extremely limiting. Standardized testing doesn't have opportunities for creatives to explore their work and explore these things. It's all about the main things that can get you a job.
Getting the grade as well, isn't it?
So I was split down the middle, and I had a few friends, like Emily Wilcock, amazing.
Donnie.
I was working with her for a little bit on some projects, and she was like, go to uni. It would be great. And I was like, stuff it, I'll do it. And this was right before lockdown as well. So it was a very uncertain time, but it ended up that basically our entire friendship group were going to Bristol anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't plan for it,
No.
but it was like, we landed here and it was really lovely. It was like, okay, not only am I, starting out fresh, but I've got my friends around me.
Yeah.
I think it just led me down, uni provided me a great platform to explore my creativity. I got into gigs, I got into lots of different things. But yeah, it was a really lovely experience. And, I've done some of my favourite work, in these past couple of years, because Bristol just enables that.
Yeah, big time.
But yeah, I think, should we go to you, see what you think?
Yeah, go on then.
Let's hear about Jago. Jago Ruben Abbott.
Oh God, government name, here we go. Again, went to the same school as Henry. Went to the same primary school, then I went to a different Church of England primary school. Big up the Church of England. Psych. And then we went to the same secondary school. And my brother did loads of theatre, and my oldest brother did. I remember one of my earliest memories being okay, acting and theatre and musical theatre is something I quite like.
I remember them being the oligarchs of,
literally
of drama in our school.
Literally, it was I don't know if you could be nepotism in a school, but it was somehow my entire bloodline ended up fronting, directing house music and house drama and showcase and other things like that. But seeing both my brothers doing it and just seeing how much fun they were having, and I tried it. I went to a Stagecoach session once. It was a 3-hour session. I went in and cried for about half an hour because I was just so out of my depth and so scared. I was 10, by the way. But it was quite scary. And then I don't know, just knowing that I'd done that, I didn't carry on pursuing it because I was playing football instead, like a legend. Proper lad. You can tell by my face. And then we went to school and just did school opportunities, and then just really fell in love with it. And I was like, you know what, maybe I'm all right at this, but also I just love it.
Yeah, drama was good for you, I think.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. And I was really lucky enough when I was in year 12, on a whim with some friends, I applied to the National Youth Theatre. Didn't really expect that much out of it, and I ended up getting in. And so I spent a 2-week course with amazing young actors across the UK, some who are now getting cast in TV shows and other things, which is nuts.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of things that's always made me want to continue in this creative field and just trying to do whatever I can really to be a part of it, even if it's not necessarily successful. I know I wouldn't love it if I didn't try, so that's what we're doing.
Sure. And I think bringing it into Bristol, I think I quite quickly fell in love with the place, not only because there was actual things happening, but it was also that there was just a real diverse cast of people, and the music was fascinating, the art was fascinating. It was this is actually somewhere where people are trying to thrive. Yeah,
just somewhere that actually has a culture outside
sure.
of I don't know, rural poverty.
Yeah, drinking basically.
Yeah, in drinking, exactly. But and I think we really became friends again in sixth form, and from then we just kind of have always really been there for each other.
Yeah.
I think it's quite beautiful, really.
Oh, mate.
We've looked after each other a lot. No, it's true. It's true. It's one of the few times I've actually sincerely to you, Dov. So
that's very true.
But we just support each other. All our friends are like that, and we're just you know what, we want to try and give something back. Yeah. Try and help the people that we love in our life.
Yeah.
And people who are in a similar position to us.
For sure.
Really.
And I think after meeting my lovely partner Izzy, who is actually doing the audio recording on the side there.
Big up Izbot.
Big up Izbot. I was, she plays music. Big up Dwell as well.
Yeah, big up Dwell.
Amazing band. I was able to all of a sudden I was going to not only just the classic Bristol D&B gigs and EDM, which I love, but I was actually seeing music other than electronic stuff.
Yeah.
And seeing, young local Bristol artists writing and producing and trying to make it in quite a vicious scene was just fascinating. And since then I've been trying to be going to as many gigs as I can, and I love it. Absolutely love the atmosphere. I love hearing new music. I love hearing people's takes on genres or whatever it might be, but also learning about what goes into it. And I think I've been able to hang out with Dwell a decent amount, and what I found interesting was there's so much more that goes into the writing than just your standard we wrote a song because I felt like it, which is also fine, but I think this is what's led me to go, okay, well, I think there is a place for these artists, whether it is I've concentrated on music there, but it's anything, photographers, music, art, whatever it is, to have a conversation about it and to talk about it and talk about their work, and not to feel like, because I think again we're in this sort of zeitgeist of social media, which is quite brutal. It really is savage. Like, you can't really be on social media and be like, so this is how in depth. People don't care, they scroll past
exactly. It's engagement and it's competition, so.
I think what we're trying to do here, in conjunction with this podcast, but also with the films we're producing and the events we're going to put on, we're going to basically not just support these people, but just put something interesting on, and allow the conversation to happen about their art. And I'm really grateful that I'm in a position that I feel like we could do this. I've got a great team of people with me, all my close mates, and they all have like really good individual things to bring, and I'm hoping that we can essentially create a system that is just really fun and just supports these creatives and gives people opportunities that they might not have gotten before.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what it really is for us. Like, we just want to support the people in our lives just like they've supported us lots, which is very good. So the general setup is hopefully each episode we're going to have a new guest on. As Henry said, we've already filmed a few of them, which is really, really good. We are very excited about them. We think they'll go well.
For sure.
And then the settings are kind of going to change. So we're in my garden now. It's nice and gorgeous natural light. I'm holding a banana for some reason. But there's a gorgeous natural light. And then the plan is, like, to make it easier for everyone, because we're all like students, we're all around the same age. We're not making money out of most of the things we're doing. We're just going to try and bring our pocket-sized studio to people. Film in their rooms, film in my room, film wherever we can. And hopefully, like, it just shows that we're just doing this. Like, we want to do it.
For sure.
It's not about the polish. It's not about this is not Joe Rogan experience.
No, I mean, if you could call Joe Rogan polished, but
no, his head is certainly polished. But no, you're right.
No, I think it's a good point, and I think we're trying to. It'd be really cool, interviewing an artist and going into that studio or going into that space and having the conversation there. And if you're an audio listener, I think the atmosphere is quite nice, and I think that's going to be really complimentary to talk. Hearing these people talk about their work. But I think we've lined up some really cool stuff, and we're really excited. And I think Jago and I are going to put something together that we're really proud of. And I'm hoping that you enjoy it. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. I think I know, like, there's going to be some kinks in the armour, but that's all.
That's all
take
part
us
of it.
warts and all, I mean, like, we're being authentic. We don't want to try and sound like at this time on podcast. Like, that's not what we're about. No. So very exciting.
That's gonna be great.
And hopefully new guests every week, different topics. Some serious, some not so serious. E.g. this one.
So it's actually been pretty serious.
It's been pretty mature.
Surprising.
I'm pretty excited about it. And like as Henry said, like, all our friends are creatives. We want to help support them. Henry's wonderful girlfriend Izzy is a spectacular drummer, and like, we just have quite a lot of creatives in our lives that we want to try and champion.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, I'm at University of Bristol. I'm in like the drama society and things like that. So
are you?
Lots of I am.
You haven't said before.
I've never said that before. Not on the show yet. I'm part of the Bristol Drama, so it's pretty prestigious actually. But like, there's going to be lots of like independent theatre makers and stuff like that from my side, and just we just want to give people recognition. Support them, because anyone who's doing a creative wants support, and God knows we want it. So
for sure.
Give out good love comes back.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
I think as well, I think we're just interested in it. And I think I've over these 3 years of working in photography, I've been really grateful to have met some like really interesting people and people that have given me the time to not only see their work but also talk about mine. And there's definitely a lot of photographers out there that I'm still in contact with that I want to bring on and see what we can do, because again I've noticed a lot of these voices are very quiet in the scene. They do work, but most of the people I know who've graduated, I've just graduated, most of the people I know have just gone straight into bar work or whatever it is, and it's shit. It's like, we should be leaving and finding assisting work, finding really fun jobs in our field, but it's just not out there. And unless I think you have to be either lucky or just really, really chatty. Which isn't, both are perfectly valid, but I haven't found that myself, and I think it'll be really interesting bringing these kind of people on, talking about the plight of the creative, but also what they're happy about and their successes and what they're looking forward to. We live in a society. But we live in a very dangerous and sort of
quite unforgiving,
quite sad society at the moment, and I think this should hopefully be a little illuminating, I hope.
It's a bit of faith, it's a bit of hope, and just also it's just great if we've got a lot of talented people coming on, and if you're here watching like on our first 5 or so episodes and one of these people pops off, which is very possible, you're going to be very excited and you're going to remember that's where it came from. So I don't really know, like, what else have we got to say for this first episode?
I think, to be honest, we're almost there.
I think we're almost there. I think we are there.
I think we'll call it that.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Thanks for tuning in.
Exactly.
And keep tabs, keep on looking. We've got some exciting stuff coming on. We'll have an Instagram up, we'll have YouTube, we'll have other bits coming out soon. And we'll be sharing it around. But basically, just keep an eye out. We've got some exciting stuff on the way, and hopefully we don't fumble the bag.
Exactly. And obviously, like, this kind of thing, it's very grassroots at the moment. We're just going to try and share it. If you can, share it with your friends, share it with anyone you know, your mum, your dad, your dog. And like, word of mouth is everything. You don't have to love it, but like, if you at least think there's something of any merit or enjoyment or entertainment to what we're doing, that'd be fabulous. But thank you very much.
All right.
This has been episode 1 of The Podcast.
The Podcast.
That's a working title.
Signing off.
In a bit.